And it is 11 a.m. on the dot. TC Fit trainer Michelle here, seeing you out in virtual world, and I've got a couple of participants here in the studio with me for core and stretch. We are going to get started with a standing warm-up here, so make sure you have some space. I've got my light weights ready to go, but I don't want to step on those. We're going to start with an opposite arm leg lift and balance, so keep it slow. I want you to be able to think about when you get to the top of that motion, are you stable? And as you reach that arm up, are you feeling any pops, cracks, or anything uncomfortable? Adjust the shoulder blade accordingly. Number one thing is to adjust to what your body needs, the space, and being safe. Go ahead and take both feet to the floor, arms in front, we rotate. Moving at your own pace in the rotation that feels most comfortable for you. This is great, great warm-up for your spine. We want to get that oxygen and nutrients into those working muscles. Take it about one more on each side, and then I'm going to have you think about tapping back. This is, again, slow. You're welcome to stay here, or if you're feeling like you're ready for it, a little quad hold, about 2 seconds at the top. Whoa, there's my balance. I'm going to have to take the arm out to the side. Talk and balance at the same time. It's a challenge. Hit each side one more time. And we're going to open up with an extension. So opposite arm leg reach. I want you just barely extending the back. Again, that balance. Lots of balance in our warm-up today. And remembering to breathe here, getting that inhale, exhale. I know when we hold a position, we tend to want to hold our breath, but I want you to keep, again, that oxygen going into the body. One more each side. And pull it back to center, gentle squat, and reach. Think exhale to the top. 3 more here. Hold it at the top, lock those fingers together, press the palms towards the ceiling. You might choose to look up towards the top of the wall or your hands. Take the side bend to your left, to the top, to the right. Little faster here. Left, top, and right. One more time, each side. We have about 10 to 12 minutes of, go ahead and release those arms, 10 to 12 minutes of core strength coming up. And then we're gonna do the second half of class will be our stretch and mobility. So go ahead and move to the top of your mat. We're gonna hinge from the hips, feel a little hamstring stretch. When you're ready for it, walking the hands out, our inchworm, to a plank position. You are welcome to stay in this tall plank position from toes to wrist. You're also welcome to take the knees to the floor or the elbows to the floor. And we're gonna march the knees. That does not mean the knees come all the way down to the mat. It's just a little movement side to side here. Each of our core strength exercises today will be about 1 minute. So we're going 30 more seconds with this plank, adjusting to what your body needs. Eyes are looking towards the front or the top of your mat. If you're marching those knees, take it 4 more. 3, 2, and 1. Lowering, controlled all the way belly to the mat. We're taking this into our Superman, our superhero. You can go arms overhead for added intensity, hands under the forehead for a little less intensity. We lift both arms and legs. It's a squeeze of that low back, gentle squeeze, no pinching. Lift, squeeze, release. Lift, squeeze, release. If you are looking for added intensity and you have a couple of light dumbbells, these can be held either, again, right at the forehead, or even tougher when you take that weight extended overhead. 15 more seconds on this exercise. If you're looking for added intensity, you don't have those weights, lift and hold. 10, 9, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, controlled release. We're pushing up into our elbows to toes plank. Again, you have the choice to take the knees to the mat. I want you to think ankles squeezing in towards the midline. Inner thighs, adductors squeezing in towards the midline. Abdominal wall drawing up like you just tightened your belt one notch. And you're breathing. As you inhale, fill the full lungs all the way down to the belly. And then controlled, powerful exhale. Like you're blowing out your birthday candles. That's gonna help engage those intercostal muscles. The muscles in between your ribs. If you want added change here, we're gonna dip hip to the side, alternating. We have 15 seconds. Your body should be getting warmer. It's okay to feel that temperature change. If you're with this dip, one more each side. And then everyone takes belly to the floor. We're gonna take the arms down to the sides, palms are up. This is a focus on our shoulder blade squeeze. So the shoulders leave the floor, we squeeze towards that midline. You get those wrinkles in the back of the shirt, and then we release open here. So our lower body is relaxed. We're squeezing those shoulder blades together. Your head might be off the mat, or if you have a small towel at home, you can tuck that in under the forehead. But our movement focus is with the rhomboids, literally those muscles right between the shoulder blades. Nothing else is moving. If you have those light weights at home, you're looking for added intensity. Palms up, hands down at the side, squeeze and release. We're gonna go 5 more seconds on this before we switch it up. One more, and release. Hands come to the armpits, push up to your quad position, hands and knees. This is a variation of our hover, of our plank. So if you want to return to one of our earlier plank options, you can. I'm gonna tuck the toes underneath and elevate the knees. So my knees come off the mat about 2 inches, not far. I say just enough that you can slide a piece of paper under there. You're squeezing the ankles in towards the midline. You're squeezing the adductors in towards the midline. You're pulling your abs up. You might rotate those elbows so that elbow pit faces forward. You're looking towards the top of your mat, and you're remembering to breathe. This is one of those exercises that starts out like easy. You're like, Michelle, this is gonna be no problem. But then when you reach that 1 minute mark, you're like, okay, I'm working. 3, 2, release that hover. Last time, belly down all the way to the mat. You have that superhero back extension. You have the shoulder blade squeeze option, or if you're ready for a new exercise, arms come out to a T, palms are down. We lift, squeeze the shoulder blades, and release. So added intensity on that shoulder blade squeeze. You're doing great. We are already coming up on 6 minutes of core-based exercise. The core includes everything from the hips to the shoulders. I like hitting these smaller muscles that don't always get their focus when we're doing our big squats or our big strength training. 1 more repetition here. And release. Roll your body to your back. So our next 3 minutes are focused on our traditional abdominal muscles. We are gonna start with our obliques. So you're laying on your back, your feet are on the floor, your low back is pressed towards the mat. I like hands near my ears. You're gonna gently lift into that crunch and we're gonna side sweep. The right hand goes towards the outside of the right ankle. You draw back to center, alternate sides. You're in control of how fast this goes, but I want you to feel the obliques do the work, not momentum, not cranking on the neck or the head. Midsection doing the work here. We're only gonna do this exercise one time today, 1 minute. So give me 2 more repetitions on each side. And then relax the back to the floor. I just dropped an imaginary rope right down to your belly button. We're gonna climb that rope. The right hand reaches up and pulls down. The left hand reaches up and pulls down. Really focusing on those upper abdominals. If you're having some neck discomfort or the neck feels a little weaker here, you can alternate supporting the head with the hand. I mentioned that upper abdominal. It's a focus area, but this is all one muscle from the rib cage to the pelvis, one big wall of awesome abs. Doing great. We have about 4 more repetitions. Working at your own pace. And release to the floor. Next exercise, feet are coming up. We're in tabletop, so press that low back towards the floor. Feel even on the hips, right to left. Squeeze those adductors in, knees squeeze together, ankles squeeze together here. And we're gonna open both arms and legs, they separate. Feel that abdominal wall work. Might have a little shake, that's okay. Exhale up to the top. Open here, pause. And release. This is another one if you have some light weights and want to intensify the exercise, add those weights to the hands. Good work. We're finishing out about 15 seconds here. Take note of how your body feels. At the end of class, I'm gonna ask you, was this tough enough? And you're gonna let me know, hey, Michelle, you know, I didn't really feel it. I think next week we better ramp it up. Or you'll say, this was perfect. Let's do something similar next week. 2 more. 1 more here. Return your feet to the floor, your hands to the floor, full body stretch. Fingertips to toes. This should feel good after that 9 minutes of core work. When you're ready, squeeze the right knee towards the chest. You'll feel that gentle glute stretch. It shouldn't be painful. It shouldn't be too tough. We're still on the easy side of our stretching. Light stretch, not a deep stretch quite yet. And we're gonna switch legs. I saved us plenty of time for the stretch portion of class today. So we're gonna try to hold each of these maybe a little longer than we have in previous weeks. When you're ready, release the feet to the floor, knees are bent, arms go out to your big T. We're gonna drop the knees towards the right side, a rotation here. We wanna feel this gentle stretch through this mid-thoracic back, maybe a little bit through the hips. You might choose to look towards your left hand. If the knees are to the right, we look towards the left. Option to take that right hand, press down on those knees just to intensify the gentle stretch here. There is no rush, but when you're ready, we release. Knees rock through to the other side. For me, knees are on the left, eyes are looking to the right. Option to gently press on the knees here. And as you release this stretch, roll your body to the left side. My knees are bent, my legs are stacked, my arms come out in front of my chest, my hands are stacked. We are opening up through the shoulders, through the thoracic spine, opening this book, pausing at your lowest point. Not everybody will take it to the floor. And then we exhale it closed. Again, working at your comfort zone or your range of motion. If you want to add a little variety here, the hands close, and that top hand makes a big half circle sweeping motion to open through the chest and that thoracic rotation. We hit one more on this side. Close it up, rock your body towards forward, and then all the way through to the other side. Stack the hips, stack the knees, feel stable on this side. When you're ready, we open. For me, this is the left arm opening up. And closing at your own pace. I like working with the breath. Inhaling as I open. Never holding that breath, but when I'm ready for the exhale, closing it back up. Option to take that hand, big arm circle overhead. We've got about 10 more seconds on this particular movement, so take your time finishing out your last repetition. And as you're ready, you're gonna roll your body to your belly. We're gonna press up onto hands and knees, tuck the toes, lead with the tailbone. We're up into our downward facing dog. Feet can be close together, about hip width apart. Choose what works best for you. Really lengthen, press that tailbone towards the ceiling. Option to march the heels. From our downward facing dog, we're going to take the right leg, we extend up towards the ceiling, lengthen. Right knee pulls through and left knee drops to the floor. We sweep the arms up and we're into our kneeling hip flexor. I like the arms up, it just gives me that kind of opening, that power feeling with my yoga move. If you want to go hands down towards the hips, you can. If you need to intensify this stretch on that back leg, take those toes out wide. And from this kneeling position, we return the hands to the mat, step the right leg back, tuck the toes, lead with the tailbone. We're up into our downward facing dog. Option to march the heels. We're gonna repeat on the other side. So left leg reaches towards the ceiling. Hang out here as long as you would like. Then the left knee draws through, foot to the floor, right knee drops to the mat. We sweep the arms up. And we're in our kneeling hip flexor stretch. Option to take that back foot, those toes out wide. And with this next release, hands come to the mat, left foot steps back, reach up into that downward facing dog. March the heels as you feel comfortable. And we're gonna walk the hands back to meet the toes. We're sitting in our leapfrog, our low squat position. Think about pressing the heels to the floor. We're gonna open through the knees. So you're using those elbows to gently open through the inside of the hips. If this squatting position isn't great for you, that's okay. Adjust as needed. You would have the option to sit on the floor as well. Find your breath here. This is a great stable position to think. Inhale through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. We're taking our stretch to a standing position. We're going to move there slowly. So we lead with the tailbone, extending through the legs. How far can you get with that hamstring stretch? You may choose to let the head and the arms hang. You may choose to grab each elbow. Look between the knees if you can. Leading with the tailbone, we are rolling very slowly. Think as slow as you can through the spine. That's going to give you a chance to bring the eyes up as well. I don't want anybody feeling uncomfortable or dizzy, so take your time. We get all the way up to the top and roll the shoulder blades down and back. Release those arms. Make sure you feel comfortable here standing. I like my feet a little wider, soft knees so we have good circulation. We're going to go ahead and roll the shoulder blades down and back. There may still be a few little pops and cracks, but it should be better than it was when we started. We've warmed up those tissues and lubricated those joints. And we drop those shoulder blades down. We open into our goalpost. One of my favorite midday stretches. Option here, if this is too intense for your arms, to take the hands down to the side. Either way, you're opening through the shoulders, feeling that gentle shoulder blade squeeze, remembering to breathe. It's a good one. Goalpost for our Super Bowl weekend. And we release the hands down to the side. Left ear drops to left shoulder. Option to reach overhead if you want to intensify. Option to reach behind the back for intensity. Either way, your feet are connected with the floor, your knees are soft. We roll chin to chest all the way through to the other side. And as you release here, right arm comes up in front, forearm stretch so the palms are in. We're reaching for the meat of the hand, not the fingertips. Feeling the stretch along the forearm, trying to drop that shoulder away from the ear. This one's for all of those pickleball players out there. And palm forward. This one's for all the golfers out there. All those people who use a keyboard all day. That's me too sometimes. We want to hit these same two stretches on the other side. And palm forward. We're coming up on the last 30 seconds of our class today. Go ahead and release those hands. If you can lock the fingertips behind, give it a gentle lift. Chin is up. A few notes. Next Thursday, there's no class, so you can watch one of the replay videos or pop in. We were hoping for snowshoe, but there's no snow, so I believe it's going to be geocache. There's still room to sign up if you want to do that on site. And Then the following week is trekking with Matt. That is movement on the treadmills here at the main office. So you do need to reserve a treadmill. You do that by reserving on MindBody. So make note of that for the next 2 weeks, and then I will be back with you at the end of the month. If you have any questions, let me know. Otherwise, we'll see you soon. Have a great day.